How can you maximize the amount of space you have in your van? It's a tiny home on wheels. Well, FLARES is a great place to start, so you can follow us along on how we decided to install our FLARES on our van. Hi, my name is Joanna. This here is our Sprinter van. Me and my husband Billy are currently in the beginning stages of building it out into a camper, and today I'm going to share with you our experience of installing FLARES by Flarespace. We decided that we were going to install the FLARES on our van because even though we ended up going with the 170 longer wheelbase, we still wanted to maximize and have the most space in our van. We do plan on installing a bathroom that's fully enclosed with a shower and toilet. Billy likes to travel in comfort, so we just wanted to make sure we were going to have as much room as possible to maximize the interior. So you can see here with how we have the temporary mattress set up going parallel with the van, how much more room it's going to take up, where if we have it perpendicular going sideways, it will actually add almost like 2 feet to the interior. Once the FLARES are installed, it gives you about 6.5 feet to lay sideways. Now we do have some friends with a van that are pretty tall, and I know they did end up keeping the bed going long ways. So Flarespace designs FLARES that are specifically made to go in a Mercedes Sprinter, making it pretty easy to install and efficient. They do give you some step-by-step instructions when you buy the kit, so it makes it super simple. We ended up buying the Flarespace bundle. Everything came a little bit more discounted doing it that way, and it also came with the actual FLARES, trim ring, the bed system, which includes the mattress and the bedding, which is made out of organic cotton, and an interior finish kit. Now, we didn't install any of that in this video because we are starting with all of the exterior and the cuts of the van first before we do anything on the interior as far as installing panels or doing our electrical system. So the other pieces will come together once we have more of the interior finished. Now, before installing the FLARES, you do need to do something to finish them. We decided to get them color matched. Some people would just rhino line them. We found a place that would paint them for $300. Now, when we took it to get it done, they went off the code of the van to match, and it ended up not matching.
That doesn't match at all.
Now, they did, of course, offer to repaint it for free, but it did end up taking about 3 weeks longer because they were very short-staffed.
Jeez. Especially in the sun, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought when I walked out, I'm like, wow, this is like really blue. I don't remember the van being that blue.
I will get these reshot and I'll give you guys a call, all right?
Appreciate it.
Y'all.
Thank you. We picked up the FLARES and they match.
We're plasticking off and taping off so we can protect against metal shavings that will prevent rust in the future.
Some of the basic tools we used was a jigsaw. Brand doesn't matter, but Billy is a big DEWALT guy. We bought a bunch of these DIABLO jigsaw blades because they do bend easy when you're cutting the corners. We used a drill to make the first hole, and Billy ended up really liking these MILWAUKEE metal stepping bits.
I buy lots of blades. I will need your hand to hold this side when I get to there.
Okay,
Just keep it from vibrating, and I have gloves out there.
perfect. Hello. We had bought a metal file, but we didn't end up using it. We used a grinder and we used a disc by DIABLO that was 80 grit sandpaper.
Right, we're cleaning up all the metal shavings that are everywhere. Then we're gonna sand this, scuff it up with the 220 all the way around where the flare sits. I'll sand these edges too. Blow this out with the air compressor, get the little shavings out from inside, and then we'll prime it. Hit all these bare metal edges with a fresh coat of paint and primer, and all in one. Then we should be ready to set the flare in place. We'll see.
Here, Billy scuffed up the outside with a 220 grit sandpaper and vacuumed up the metal shavings before applying a all-in-one Rust-Oleum paint and primer.
Priming all these bare metal edges. Getting them all coated up with a coat of primer and paint so that no rust will happen. Ooh. Give me a rag. Oh, wait for this to dry. We'll go cut the hole on the other side. Learned a lot on the other side. I'm going to, rather than cut through this with the jigsaw, because that's where my cut got ugly on that side, I'm going to hit this with a grinder, put a straight edge on it, draw a line straight across, cut that with the grinder before I try to cut the outside with the jigsaw. And that should make it a lot easier and cleaner. This blade is garbage. Let's see if I have a different blade.
Yeah, that didn't cut.
Try this one. The problem is this one's 1/8 inch thick, but we shall see.
So what are you replacing it with?
A thinner blade. But thinner blade means more danger. Can shatter. Go to your face.
Oh my god, what do you mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Could you please tell me what you mean by shatter in your face?
These blades are prone to breaking, and so we got safety.
Well, I don't want to get hit with it.
It'll be fine.
Good?
Yeah, one blade left. Corners are the hardest part. So that's definitely the way to go, is cut those ribs out of the inside the support beam that was in here. Cut those out first, and then finish your cut, because that's way cleaner. It's a lot more even all the way around. That side's a little wavy at the bottom, because it had trouble getting through that extra metal. All yours.
So I'm gonna take some rubbing alcohol and I'm gonna use it to clean up around where we did these scratches.
220 sandpaper.
220 sandpaper. Clean up any of the shavings and the dust so we can adhere everything properly. And I'm doing it before we paint it this time. Because on the other side, I think I took some of the paint off with the rubbing alcohol.
So when cutting out your flares, if you want to cut down on the minimal shavings on the outside of your van, you fold a piece of tape up like this. It acts as a little catch for all these little shavings. Looks pretty good. So when doing the priming, we got these little foam brushes at Home Depot. They seem to hold the paint pretty well and spread it pretty well. But what we're doing is taking this Rust-Oleum paint and primer in one, just spraying it directly into a bucket. You got some liquid down there. Take your little thingy, dip it in. We're gonna sand this edge down just a little bit to scuff it up, to clean it, to allow the adhesive to bond better with it. After I sand it, we're gonna hit it with some alcohol, let that dry, and then throw the sealant on there from Flarespace.
For the same reason, we did it on the outside of the van. We are getting our masking tape into place, that way it's ready to go when we place our flare, and it keeps it there while it's drying.
So we're about to apply the 555 sealant. Actually, this is different than the instructions. This is 105 adhesive. Anyways, we're about to apply this to the flare before it goes on the van, but they said to cut a little V notch in the tip, so when you apply it coming down, it allows a triangle shape and will cause less cleanup when you're applied to the van.
And a Q-tip?
Maybe.
Does it look like it's staying put?
Yeah, you want to hand me the tape? I'm gonna put the It's good. We're gonna have to change the hinges eventually because we're gonna put that owl gear on here, and that makes it stop.
So yesterday we finished installing the flares, and then we let the adhesive sit for 12 hours. Today we plan on doing the adhesive on the inside, and we're gonna take these shims out that we added and also hopefully install the windows. The reason why we did the shims was to keep the metal more flush up against the actual flare because it was bowing inwards a little bit. So this just helped push it closer to really, yeah.
So we're gonna set these windows. Joanna's gonna go on the outside, basically hold the window in place. It has a trim ring that gets screwed, which combines the two together, secures it in place. It's got a gasket on the outside. It really pulls that gasket tight, which creates a water seal. So that is the game plan. Not sure if you're supposed to do this, but why not?
What are you doing with the hose, Billy?
I have to spray you with it.
The last thing we're doing is we are going to do a water test to make sure we don't have any leaks.
Bye. Oh, shoot.
Oh no. There's water coming in right by the window. Why is that?
Looking through here?
Yeah.
I have a default in a window. I mean, typically you don't have rain coming from that direction because when you're driving, it's going this way. But if you're in a hurricane, it's gonna want water.
Camping in a hurricane.
Hey air gap right there. I don't think it's gonna be a big issue. It's not leaking here. That's where the gasket is. That's where it'd be coming from.
So after doing some research and sending in our video to Flarespace to see if there was a defect in the window, we found out that these half slider bunk windows are designed to drain the water if water does get in through some weep holes. So technically they are functioning as they should. However, if you're concerned about getting water in your van from a wash or a hurricane, then I would probably go with an awning style window. Well, that's all for now. See you in the next video. We do also have a window and some fans installed.